I've never used that particular product. I already knew. Oh my God, I've worn the perfect top for this eyeshadow palette today. Am I gonna say game changer? Welcome back to Lucky Tip. I'm Sarah Marie, and this week's episode is jam-packed with tips for those of you who are 35 plus and need to know how to change the way you've been doing your makeup. Maybe it's not sitting as right. I give you so many tips and tricks of things I've been using literally every single day. What have we got today? We've got Chisel Cheeks by Barry M Contour Creams. I love a contour cream. I actually can't wait to show you. I'll be doing a new technique with my cream contour, so I'm gonna show you how I do that today. Embers by Anastasia, Beverly Hills, the queen of eyebrows. Now, I guess she's gonna be queen of eyeshadows, so let's take a look at that. Those are the shades there. Quite a lot of neutrals, so if you are a neutral person, this is for you. Oh my God, I've worn the perfect top for this eyeshadow palette today. Morphe, you know I love Morphe. So we've got the Morphe Signature Lip Pencil. There. Morphe Lip Filter in Plush. It's so cute. It's got a little M on the end. First things first, let me show you what I've been doing with my cream contours lately. Am I gonna say game changer? I think I'm gonna say game changer because I have one foundation that's way too light. And this has been a way to make that darker and bronzier and contour, but I've also been able to do this with my darker foundations and get a really lovely lift. So the way I use my cream contour now, I don't put it here anymore. I've been actually doing my cream contour on my cheekbone. So think of this area here like a V, okay? I personally like to go a little bit here, especially if my foundation's a little light. I go on my forehead, just up here. Mainly because I kind of wish my hairline was a little lower, so this is kind of to camouflage that. Round the other side, again, same sort of section here, like a triangle. I do it on my jawline like this. And then I do on the sides of my nose. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on my eyelid, even though I'm gonna use eyeshadow. Buffy type of foundation brush. Can be also a bit smaller and rounder, but I do feel like you want something that's gonna have some sort of blending buff to it. So see how I'm just buffing that? I'm gonna just start with my jawline. I go side to side because I don't wanna lose where I've applied it. And then if, for example, I need to make my neck a bit darker, once I've gone to side, I bring it down. A touch over the ears. If you're gonna have your hair up, make sure you go over your ears a little bit. Cheek, it looks like it's gonna be a lot, but I'm telling you it's not because of where you're applying it. It's a lot if it's here, but if it's here and you're pressing that in, look, like it's not. I've never used that particular product. I already knew it's going to be the perfect amount. You don't have to do this side. If you feel like your face is quite narrow, I would probably avoid the temple, or if your forehead has a smaller space, you don't have to put it on the forehead. Contouring really is personal to your face shape. This is what I personally like to do. And I'm patting that. Notice how I'm not rubbing? I'm patting that on the cheeks. Eyelids, I actually think I can use this same brush for my eyelids because it's really just a wash of color. The nose, we're gonna need a smaller brush for the nose because we want a smaller nose. We're not going to make the nose bigger. So with the nose, I don't necessarily pat, I do kind of wipe it gently up and down, really straight and very carefully, and then I press. So Chisel Cheeks highlighter, if you want to do something where you're going to highlight on the face, you can't really go wrong with applying a little bit down the center of your nose just to sharpen that section there. I won't blend it yet, just so you can see where I'm applying it. Love a highlighter on the brow bone. Think of your finger. If you put your finger here, that's kind of the section you want to put your highlighter. If personally you love to have the highlighter on more areas, you definitely can do that. I'm just showing you what I find works for me. If I want to have a really glowy look, I would then apply just a touch here and just a touch here and just tap that. Tap, 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 tap gently. Before doing my eyeshadow, I'm actually going to go a little backwards today and do my lippy, mainly because I want to balance out my face with my lips, my cheeks, and then my eyes today. Okay, I soften my Cupid's bow, so I always make that a little bit softer. I'm not gonna line all the way to the corner of my mouth. I'm gonna go about 3/4 of the way. I've been doing this with all my lip pencils. Just flip your lip liner to the back and use that to blend. the lip liner a little bit. You just basically want to go back and forth and smudge that so it's not so sharp. Now let's get this lipstick here. We're gonna start by patting. I don't wanna fully wipe this on because once you wipe it, there might be too much product. You might lose the ombre kind of look. So let's just pat this on first to start. I'm gonna go over it with a little bit more lip liner. Love the way the lip is sitting. I love the way it's looking. If you feel like you don't like to see the lines as much, you can put a touch of gloss, just a little on the center and give it a light pat. And I feel like that does help to smooth that out. But don't put too much on because then it just looks like you've got this color lip gloss on. So you would literally just be doing a touch on the center to give you a pat. But like I love, love, love the balance of this. Okay, eyeshadows. Those are the swatches there, so you can see what the eyeshadow palette colors are. I feel like you already are going to know, if you know me well enough, you're gonna know what colors I'm gonna use and not use on this. I'm not gonna be using the green, I'm not gonna be using the blue. I think these two start to make it too wintry. We wanna make this a bit more of like a summer spring color. And I think all of everything else, the 7 other colors, perfect for that. Let's start with the transition shade first. I'm gonna use this lighter neutral shade here. I'm gonna pop that on the socket of my eye here, just to kind of test out how the shade works. You always wanna test the color out first if you've never used the shadow, because you might put this on your eye and be like, geez Louise, that's not going to be right for me. But I think this is a great transition shade. I think this is perfect. If your eyes are hooded, the technique I'm using here, you might have to bring that over the hooding and closer to your brow bone, okay? When I used to be a makeup artist and I had a lot of clients who had that hooded brow, I would never lift their brow bone and then apply eyeshadow. I used to always make them open their eyes, then I would apply the eyeshadow and lift it, and that way you're camouflaging that lid and making their eyes look more almond. Let's get this brown shade here in the corner. Press this on the outer corner, let's just see. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna run this over my mobile lid here, over the eyelashes. I still remember when Anastasia brought out that technique about the brows, and it's like, I think it's the golden brow rule is what she called it. And you have your brows starting here and the arch here where the pupil of your eye is and it ends here. And I was like, that's genius. I have never looked back when she said that. Okay, I'm gonna get a fluffy brush just to blend that through. I'm gonna get this shade here, this lovely glowy beige shade. Just tap that so I don't have too much pigment on my brush. I'm gonna start on my brow bone because I wanna make sure the pigment's not too strong as a blending color. Sweep it gently back and forth so that socket color blends really nicely with my brow bone. I'm gonna get a little bit of this brown. Just add that to the outer corner of my eye. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'm gonna bring that into the inner corner of my eye. Obviously, you would wanna finish this with some mascara. I don't have mascara here, it wasn't in my bag, but just picture this with some mascara. I'm actually going to add a little bit of this bronzy shade. See this color here? So I'm gonna go with this shade on top of where I put this brown. So that mobile lid here, I'm gonna add a little bit on the center. Really like just patting, kind of like in a circle, okay? I don't want it across the whole lid. I'm basically just doing a little circle here and up. Now, if you want to make this a full bronzy look, same brush, in circular motions, apply that eyeshadow all across. And note how I'm not bringing it down. I'm not making it really long. I've kind of lifted that up. It's a little bit rounded off on the ends. Let's go and add this on the outer corner here a touch. I don't add too much there, just on the outer corner a little bit. I really rate this eyeshadow palette. Yeah, so the only thing I would use now to finish this off, some mascara, or if you really wanted to get like an eyeliner over your top lashes and smudge that up. But honestly, I'm really, really happy with it. I feel like this is mainly about techniques on how to use. So whatever I said today, all the tips I told you today about how you can change your makeup techniques, you can use that with literally any eyeshadow, any bronzer, any cream contour that you have at home, just give it a go with what you've got at home first before you go out and start like grabbing and buying a bunch of new stuff that you don't know how to use. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Lucky Dip. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our social media channels as well, because we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff. Bye.